that versus this thing. Nice thing is, this one's got the adjustable crank here, which keeps it from moving around. It's got a level built into it. Not that you really need to worry about level, but it stands taller. It's going to be my new helper out here. My cousin was up here in oh, that's even sweeter yet. Just a second here. Quit. Cool. Cool. Sorry about the angulations there. So I like that already. Cool. Huh. Just another function. Oh! Wasn't supposed to see that. Whoop! Yeah. Yeah, I like teasing. Well, I guess I'm going to decide to find my totes, my extra totes, start toting up the parts of this truck, and either put them inside the toolbox because I can lock the toolbox, and I guess it's getting time to push that thing out the door. So I guess let's try her out. I like that function. Okay. Hey, that works pretty good. Oops, I got her pulling it down just a little too much. It's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve, but anyway, yeah. That's going to be my new helper, leaning over fenders and that for right now until I get the other one built. Yep, my cousin was up and seen us. We didn't get out here and do much. Well, we did. Got out here, took care of the animals. That was about it. And it's Monday. I'll say it's Monday. That's all I'll say. It is a Monday. And I will say right now, I'm going to turn it all over and put it in God's hands to fix the problems and to help what he feels is necessary. I guess it's that time. I got to. You just stop to get the gaskets for the vet. Well, you know, older stuff is getting harder to have on hand. And it'll be Wednesday before the gaskets are in. Oh well. I'll go and look around out here, but I don't think I got them. Back to water. Water and some milk. Buddies might have our dies in that. Die and new punch. Or yeah, I guess it's a punch, I guess you could call it. Maybe done tomorrow or Wednesday, which will be good. But I'm getting where my truck needs an oil change, the wife's car needs an oil change, my cousin needs an oil change. Weather's gorgeous this week. It's supposed to be up in the 50s, 60s maybe. Definitely 50s. And would be nice to work outside, but at the same time doing oil changes would be nice to be on the inside. I have come across a couple of cheap motors. Well, $500. I mean, it's cheap. The one had 120,000 miles on it. And tried dealing with the guy, and he never got back to me. So, what else? Well, then I don't have the funding to come in to get the motor for this truck rebuilt. So, I guess it's time to push it out, and maybe I can build that press and do some welding projects in here right now with having that in here. It's kind of cramped, and you really don't want to splatter it with weld too bad. But yeah, I just want to try and stop worrying about everything and just put it in God's hands. Don't do any good to worry, I guess. So, with that, I guess I'm going to have to start cleaning that little truck off. I'm starting to have one of those live-in shop projects where the vehicle ends up being buried under a ton of stuff, but this ain't too bad. It's going to be the crap about it is shit. About the time I'll push it out the door, I'll figure something out. But still got a Camaro to get home for parts, and I'd like to get that home and see if that motor runs. It's supposed to. Still got a few projects to do, and I just got to figure out. And all I know is, I guess I'm going to touch a little on this. You know, I was born here in America. I was raised American. I am an American. But my helping for me and my situation is getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. I seriously may not have help to get my medications after the first year. And if that happens, if anybody's had a diabetic in the family, you can't get your diabetic medicine, you know what happens there. So, I guess that's why I'm turning it over to God's hands. He's got an ultimate plan for me. And, I mean, there's been many a times in my life where He could have called me home. And I really don't know how He didn't call me home, but I'm still here walking the face of this earth, thanks to Him. But yeah, if I lose my help with my medications, I really hate to think of the consequences that'll be coming, and that probably won't take long, because without the medications, I'm gonna probably go downhill pretty fast. So with that, I guess if people can say a prayer for me, and that, you know, not just for me, for the family and everybody in this world that's hurting. So, but yeah. So I guess I want to stick around long as I can, and as we all know, no human or anything in this world lasts forever. Nothing does. Even though this is a big chunk of metal, it will be consumed by the earth again. It will go back to the ground, and it will be reused. I mean, you think, oh, God, a chunk of metal like that, it'll last forever. No, nothing lasts forever. So, I guess next couple of health, and tomorrow I go to the lung doctor to see what's going on there. So yeah, I guess get through that, and I guess Wednesday will be the day that we finish the vet. I know there's a couple of things I could do to it, but for the amount of gas I burn up going out there and back, it's cost me money. It's cost me money to go work there, and after this working there this year, it may have gotten worse, so who knows. But I guess we got some stuff laying around we need to pick up and put away and get back with its right pistons. Oh yeah, that's right, he might have that. Yeah, so, oh, well, and we're all, okay, now on to some car stuff here. Since Boss got a brand new Jake's distributor, and I don't know if anybody's seen that or not. A second here. And I'm getting a little funny about getting oil all over my hands because today right here, I woke up this morning, my hand was stuck just like this. I couldn't move it this morning, so that was, yeah. Anyway, I don't know if maybe working with the stuff again has messed with me or what, but anyhow, this is the distributor out of there. And you see all that wetness right there? This is after I've had it laying on its side draining. Well, it drained so bad it ran out there. Somehow or another, the engine oil has been working its way up the shaft and getting into here. And he goes, would that help with the hard start issue? I said, yeah, yes it could. So we're going to take this apart and see if there's any fix in this, or if this will become my new another oil pump priming tool. I got that, and since he had a new everything was new, yeah, I said, well, he's one that he don't keep old stuff around. I mean, especially car parts, he don't deal. But you can see where the oil was getting thrown around in here. So ACL super coil. So we got that, but we'll just dissect this distributor later and see what's going on with that. Oh, so I'm sorry, I'm out of the picture, ain't I? Sorry about that, didn't mean to sneeze. Still waiting to get my hands on the 10 over rings for the Tecumseh and getting the gasket set. Found the rings, but the one place couldn't give me the gasket set. I said, if you sell me the rings, what good's the rings without the gasket set? Oh, well, yeah. And I had found where I could get piston rings and gaskets on the internet fairly cheap. And for what this place wanted to charge me for just the rings alone, I could have bought everything else off the internet. So, guess we gotta figure out how to hold this transmission up here. So, I gotta get that tranny held up somehow. Get that taken care of and get stuff laid down in here. Oh, motor mount there. I'm gonna buy a brand new motor mount cheaper than what the guy at the junkyard wanted for a used one. So, and this one motor I was trying to deal on, it had, oops, getting used to the new stand. Sorry guys. Whoa. Oh yeah, forgot. Huh, okay, there. It had a good, I know, too much head space. Sit back here, I look like a wee little guy. Yeah. Well, I'm going to start cleaning up around here, and I guess if I get this done where I can roll the truck out today, I'll bring you guys back. But I guess that truck can just go sit outside. I know it's screwed for right now, and nothing I can do about it. So, and, you know, one last thing before I move on to doing something. You know, I'm on disability, and I'm a big guy, yes, but everybody's got this. Well, let's see here. That would help bring you guys down a little. Learning this all yet. Yes, I am a big guy, and you know what? I don't like just sitting around doing nothing. I try doing what I can, and Some days I can do stuff pretty good, and some days it's like, oh wow, what was I thinking? But yet I'm still trying to contribute. I'm trying to do what I can do yet. But yet, in some people's eyes, that's not enough. Or not fast enough. Well, for what I've been doing, I get, you know, I don't get this big godly amount that like some people do on disability. How they ever got that kind of money, I don't know. I don't. And what little bit I get just barely makes a vehicle payment and pays the house. And that's it. So I'm being punished in one way. Then I've been trying to work, you know, which I think is going to come back to bite me in my ass this next year. As doing what I got. I mean, you know, I have trouble remembering what I do and don't do, and right now I'm being punished for trying to do something to keep going, but yet sitting around doing nothing and basically just waiting to die is not a way to live either. I am a fortunate big person. I really am. I just seen somebody yesterday, and inside my head I'm like, damn dude, step away from the plate once in a while. They're using the Walmart shopping cart. I mean, this person was almost too big for the cart. I'm like, how did you let yourself go that bad? I mean, granted, I was going down that road too. I know life gets to you, medications get to you, everything gets to you. But I'm fortunate. I still can move when I can and still do what I do. But I'm being punished for it. I mean, they've got these guidelines for being in poverty all screwed up. I mean, you either are living in a cardboard box, but if you're like us, where you don't even have enough to get by, but they're treating you like you're in the top bracket. I mean, oh, you did this. I guess what I'm saying is, when are they going to realize they can't go by your gross income, because you know you have taxes taken out of there, the insurance taken out of there, and if you get into trouble you end up with garnishments taken out of there. What your gross income and what you bring home are two different things, and that's where it's screwing a lot of people over in this country, is because they're going by your gross. Well, they know you don't get the gross, but they still penalize you because you got that gross amount. And they don't consider you're paying your bills and you're trying to be responsible and pay your bills, but you get punished because, oh, you had all that money. Why do you need help getting your medications, or why do you need help going to the doctor? Well, because there's not enough left over. If you would figure this stuff by your actual take home, because the government's got your money, but you know what? The government don't pay you interest on your money. You may get it back at your tax return. You don't get any interest. You just get exactly the amount that you paid in back if you qualify. But now, if you owed that same money to the government, they'd be racking up so much interest on that, there's no way in hell you're going to get it caught up. I'm like, really? I mean, it's just gross and actual take home are two different worlds. You know, if we got to bring home our gross income, a lot of people would be better off in being able to take care of things. But well, I guess we broke away from the England to try and get away from taxes. And here we are 200 and some years later doing exactly what we tried getting away from. But the middle class and lower, we're being hammered so hard you can't do nothing. I don't know. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure out how the system is working is broke. But I mean, they take the taxes right off the bat. And that's the other thing I don't understand. They say Social Security's going to be broke, it's going to run out of money. Well, with adding another 5 million people to, oh, they can get Social Security now without ever having to work a day in life. Yeah, I see how it's going broke. But, you know, you get a paycheck every week or every bi-week, or you get paid sometime during the month. That money's coming out and it's getting paid to Social Security and all that. So if everybody continues to work, how is something going to run out of money if they're still collecting it every day? Well, that's by where they give away free money, where nobody ever had to pay in. How long can we continue to do that and not have the whole system fail? Really. I'm not the brightest person in the world. I'm not the smartest person in the world. And we all are a long ways from being perfect in anything. But when you open up a system like that to that many people without them ever having to contribute to it, no, it's not going to work. Just like for cash for clunkers, look at how many businesses went out of business because cash for clunkers. All the aftermarket people, the people that were making the parts, making the body panels, all that. And there's part of a history of the automotive world that's disappearing fast because, and you know, those new cars that the people got, I know a couple of people that have had nothing but troubles with their brand new cars. Some of them even lost their brand new cars because they went from owning something to paying on something that they couldn't pay for. Got rid of a perfectly good vehicle to get a brand new vehicle. Oh, I got to make payments, but no big deal. The government gave me more than what my car was worth. Well, if you would have thought about it longer, you would have said, oh, this old car is worth more to me to hold on to than driving a brand new car. So I don't know. And one of my guys keeps telling me turn it over to God's hands, and hey, leave the stamp alone. Pardon me, cat. Turn it over to God's hands. He says put God front. I do. Because I know when I've had my close calls with death, if I wouldn't have thought God saved me or Jesus Christ saved me, I wouldn't be sitting here making this video right now. And I mean that. I had a semi pull out in front of me a few years ago. It was with my '89 two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, two-tone red Chevy pickup. That was a fun truck. I got it from my brother-in-law. Well, semi pulled down in front of me at an intersection. Well, he just took. I mean, he was empty. I could tell because he just took off. Well, the area we were, there's some hills and that, and last I seen him, he was going up over the hill. No brake lights, no nothing, no incline that. He was slowing down. Well, right on the top of that hill, just over the crest of it, is the intersection. Well, I had a pop, and then I just took a drink, went to... I either went to set it or I had just set it. I don't remember what I'd done, but I had just looked down in the seat, looked up, I mean just in a split eye, and I looked up and I'm like, oh God, anything but the trailer, because I come over the hill and he was stopped on the road. I'm like, oh God, anything but the trailer. And at first I went to go left, but I seen a flash of white, so I went to the right. I thought, taking the ditch. Well, I'm sitting there leaning over in the seat watching the rivets on the grain trailer just by. I look ahead, I'm like, okay, the truck's still straight. I've got a telephone pole or the ditch. And the way I was skidding, I thought, yep, I'm going to go off into the ditch. and just missed the pole. I'm like, okay, I'll tear the truck up. This is my thought process in my head. As I look back up, I'm like, okay, we're good. And the next thing I know, the tractor turned in front of me. And my next thought while I'm sliding, I mean, this just happened like that, but my next thought was, oh God, anything but the duals. So I knew if I hit the duals, that was going to be a hard impact. Well, not thinking, I said anything but the duals, and then it was over. Well, I ended up plowing in to the driver or the passenger side fuel tank, and the truck come to a stop. He come to a stop, and I got on the cell phone, called the comm center, and said I just hit a blankety blank semi and blah blah blah, and I told him I hit it in the fuel tank, and I didn't know if there was any fuel running or not. Which, talking to the guy at first, his comment was, well, I was going to pull off the road because I thought you already hit me in the rear end. So he was just pulling off the road. Come to find out later, the white flash I seen, if I would have went left and tried to avoid him, I would have hit 2 off-duty deputies head on. So I took the lesser of the evils. I went to the right. All it ended up is I didn't have a seatbelt on, because at that time I was bigger and they didn't fit. But I was on the brake pedal so hard, guys, that when I impacted the truck, I bent the freaking brake pedal. I didn't get one bruise, one scratch, anything out of that crash. Crawled out of the truck, and that guy's like, you okay? And that's when he told me that he was going to just get off the road because he thought I'd already rear-ended him. And there was some other stuff said during that time too, but he says, you know, it's kind of strange that day, and this is how I know God was working that day. He says normally that day, when he takes off in his truck, he always fills that passenger side fuel tank. But he said for some reason, something told him not to put any fuel in that tank that day. I'm like, wow, okay. Because after we got my truck pulled out from under the trailer and that, or the sleeper, and I looked, I'm like, wow, if there would have been fuel in that tank, the way that tank crushed, and now I know with the fuel being in there would have crushed different, but the way the hood of my truck went, it would have funneled all that diesel fuel in on a hot motor. I'm pretty sure I would have burned to death. So, yeah. Tell me God ain't helping. He is. And there's been a couple of other situations that have happened that I guess I ain't going to share those at this time right now, but there's 2 more situations where, and one of them I might have actually been gone because, yeah. Last thing I seen when the truck ran over was white. The next thing I know, I scared the shit out of the kid that was riding with me. So, and according to him, and he still swears to it this day, there's 15 minutes of my life I cannot account for. So, believe me if you want, believe me if you don't. If you don't, you don't. But all I know is there's a higher power that has kept me alive. And so I guess with that, I turn it over to you, God. It's all in your hands. Alright, let's get to work.